I do wonder how much of how you've been able to build your business and grow the way you have and overcome what you've overcome has to do with your upbringing and some of the things that you've gone through over your life.
I think so. We grew up really poor. You know, my mom's a great mom. Like, you know, I love her to death. But like, it was kind of rough. You know, kind of coming up and stuff like that. And my dad was into the biker scene and stuff like that. And then, you know, he passed away. We had like a family friend that got murdered. So we had just like different things going on back then. I think if anything, it probably younger, I just kind of put a chip on my shoulder and made me more just like, hey, I'm going to come out here and get it, because I was really pretty buttoned down as like a minor. And then, you know, because I kind of felt, well, a responsibility for my mom and a responsibility for my younger siblings because I was the oldest one. But once I turned 18, and I was in and out of foster homes and stuff like that a little bit, but once I turned 18, I just started getting stupid. And so by 19, I was on a level 4 yard, and that's really what started shaping things. So I don't know, I'm sure, I mean, you know what a level 4 yard is compared to a level 1. So it was a 180 design level 4 in high desert. So this is like the shoe kick out yard for Pelican Bay. So everybody there's doing life, or they're like, you know, coming off not being validated. And so the lowest I'd ever been was a level 3, but everywhere you went, especially because it was Norteños, it's like everything in there is no hands policy. Like, you're not allowed to fight. Like, if you're going to fight, you have to stab someone, you have to slice someone. And so it's like a situation where you put all these people that are like basically, you know, killers, drug addicts, like doing all kinds of crap on the street, but there's like this respect, and like hostilities don't really happen like that. And when they do, like, you know, it's generally maybe a removal where somebody's removing their own. But that really, it's very interesting, because when I got friends in the military and stuff like that, because there is a COC, like there's target monitors, there's all this stuff that you go in there where you have to walk out on the yard and go, okay, how many of this group and this group and this group is out here right now? Where are the targets? You know, how many people on the yard, how many cops are on the yard? And so you get used to having awareness. And that's one of the things that I really learned in there that I felt has kind of shaped a lot of things, and discipline too, because like drug use and different things like that were like really looked down upon. And so like you just could not be in that car and do that kind of stuff. And so it was mandatory workouts, mandatory education. And it was just like, I love the structure, because, you know, when I first got like caught with guns when I was 18, I just went to jail. I got a suspended sentence. But I literally took the ASVAB, applied for the Army. I was waiting 1 year past for my felony conviction to do the waiver. I was like, ship me to Iraq. You know what I mean? You ain't going to take my guns. I'll just go there. But unfortunately, I ended up catching another case, and that's what got me my suspended sentence. But that just taught me a lot about discipline. And then I started, you know, when I went on the run, you know, because I felt at some point, you know, when I got out and I was kind of doing my thing, kind of felt like King Dingaling to an extent. Like, I'm out there, you know, I didn't have a job, but I just was living good. And when I left, like after like 6 months in San Diego, I ran out of money. I was flat broke. I had nothing. Like, I was literally went from, okay, what am I going to do, to like having, you ever walk out of a grocery store and somebody's like trying to sign you up for something?
Yeah, absolutely.
Literally was doing that. Was doing like anything I could to just get work and get money, until I ended up getting the skills to kind of get that job. But stoicism really kind of changed my mindset, because I feel like a lot of people that is either grew up maybe hood or grew up in just different situations, they blame the cops, they blame this, they blame the system, they blame society. But, you know, the moment I started adapting the reality that everything is my fault, literally, because everything has happened from either an action I've taken or didn't take, and, you know, I'm going to live with it. And so that, to me, like once I accepted that, I was like, all right, cool, now I can change it all. You know what I mean? And it just got more where you don't kind of take things personal. Like, we're all in this system, and even if the system isn't fair at times, you know that the system isn't fair. So you're playing a game that you understand the rules, whether they're in your favor or not, you know. But business, to me, is just one of those things that it just absolutely changed my life. You know what I mean? And then like working with attorneys specifically, I just, you know, just kind of my background and stuff like that, I just feel like a lot of just a connection there. You know, I would 100% be a lawyer in another life.
Yeah, I wonder how much you learned about reading people during some of those tough times, where whether it's, you know, walking into the yard and trying to figure out who are the allies, who are the enemies, whether it's, you know, people are walking out of the grocery store and you're trying to, you know, get somebody to sign up for something. What have you learned about, you know, how to read people over the years?
I don't know, probably nothing nothing spectacular. I mean, to me, it's just like pay attention to people's actions, not what they say, right? Because people are going to say things all the time, right? People are going to either, there's people that lie, there's people that whatever. And so if you watch somebody's actions long enough, they're going to tell you that who they really are. And then when they do that, believe them. You know what I mean? And I think that's like the best thing to do. Is just look at how people get down. How do people treat their spouse? How do people treat their friends? How do people treat their kids? And if you observe how somebody acts like that, then you're going to kind of know. And then from there, it's like, as I've gotten older, I just, I keep a small circle. You got to really just stay focused on people that have the same kind of, morals, and values and stuff like that.